Depending on where you live in the world, you might have seen a few of these Sega Astro City Candy Cab arcade cabinets. My friend Mark managed to find a few of these for him and his mates, who fortunately had the space for this large 29-inch monitor, which allows for impressive and exciting games to be reproduced in a cabinet suggestive of the future of amusement centres, or so says this quite spiffy little pamphlet. The condition of the cabinet was, mostly pretty good, the worst parts being where the paint had flaked off a little and some rust had got onto the bare metal. By the time I got to see the cabinet, most of the buttons had been replaced, but there was still a bit of work to be done on the wiring and, a bit of untangling of the spaghetti underneath there. Before we could go and paint the cabinet, we had to get rid of that rust, which is pretty easy if you've got a bottle of vinegar on hand. Just pour it into a tub, leave the tub outside unless if you like your house smelling like a takeaway shop, and then come back later. We wanted to replace the stock standard Sega Astro City speakers with something that had a bit more of a beefier, fuller sound, so we went and picked up these car speakers and an amplifier, which we didn't actually need because the Astro City puts out enough volume on its own. Fitting our new speakers wasn't going to be as easy, but we managed to MacGyver up a solution that got them all in place. So now that's all wired up, we can hook up a game board and see how it sounds, for which Mark gave me a bit of advice.
You line up the arrows, but also this small edge here is where you get your 12 volts from. So all of these connectors here are where you're getting your power and it's powering your board. If you put it in this way by accident, you'll be sending
it into yikes.
So don't ever do that.
Okay.
You will kill your boards otherwise. So easiest way, arrow to arrow. If there's no arrow, the thick cables here are your 12 volts.
With our new speakers sounding fine, it's time to go back to our bucket full of vinegar and give the rust a good scrubbing, which is much easier now the vinegar has soaked in. And now that the hard rust has been scrubbed off, it's looking so much better, but all we need now is to wash off the rest of that rust and vinegar, and it's all ready for us to go and paint. All the nice stickers on the back need protecting from the spray paint, so we just throw on a bit of masking tape and then cut out the edges, put on a few coats of spray paint, and a bit of gloss. Get all the panels painted as well and leave it all out to dry. Several months later, we have the finished result, a nicely painted Astro City, and even the cables have been tidied up and look much nicer. No more spaghetti here. We never put in a lock for the one that was missing there, and the door down below has a non-standard lock. But the control panel still has both of its standard Sega locks down below. Hooked up to the machine is a Marvel vs. Capcom board, which has had the Infinity Key mod done to it. This mod gets around some weird protection that they put onto these boards, where if the onboard battery goes flat or gets disconnected, the whole board just becomes inoperable. Underneath the control panel, all the wires have been tidied up and a few of them have been replaced, along with the buttons being replaced as well. Because someone's gone and drilled in an extra hole into the control panel here, Mark's gone and repurposed it as a extra credit button, and underneath is the extra credit button for player 2. Certain games like Sunset Riders and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 and a few other games need an extra coin for the second player, and that's your way of adding extra credit for them. Joysticks are still the original joysticks. We did reorientate the monitor from being in the vertical tate position to this horizontal one. Here's a lesser modified Astro City. And also if you look behind in the corners, you can see a few other arcade machines that we want to get to work on. And I'll share the progress of that on this channel. But hope you've enjoyed checking out the arcade machine. Please subscribe if you want to see more. and thanks for watching.